Well, Rock, Reggae, and Relief is this Saturday in downtown Pittsburgh with 96.9 Bob FM. Headliner this year is UB40. Right now, I'm really excited about this rare opportunity to be joined by Jimmy Brown, drummer and founding member of that iconic band. Jimmy.
Hello.
How are you, Jimmy?
Very good, thank you.
Jimmy, UB40 formed back in 1978. That means next year you'll be celebrating your 45th anniversary as a working band. You've had over 50 charting singles and have sold over 100 million records worldwide. Amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean, the success is truly amazing, but I'm as amazed by it as you are, I suppose.
I guess the question is, how did you not end up wanting to kill each other after? I mean, it's like a marriage.
It certainly is, yeah, yeah. And we're a legal partnership, and that's very much like a marriage. You are responsible for the people you were partners with. Yeah, I mean, we have killed each other over the years, I suppose. But there were six original members. We go a lot further back than 1976. We go back to the very early 70s, even before then, actually, because we met when we all went to school together from the age of 11. So we've all been friends since we were 11 years old. That's quite a phenomenal amount of time.
Can you explain your love of reggae music?
Well, we didn't choose reggae. Reggae chose us. We were living in a very mixed area. That we were exposed to the music. There was you couldn't get a reggae dance in the city centre. So all the local dances were organised by sound systems. The local school dances and youth club dances were all organised by kids that were from the Caribbean. So reggae for us was an obvious musical choice because that was the music we heard around us.
UB40, the name, the band after an unofficial British government document.
Yeah, well, it was. I mean, at the time, there were a lot of gigs that were being organised by certain sort of political organisations, like what we called Rock Against Racism at the time. Those gigs that we played quite often, they always gave a reduced fee for people who were on benefit money. They used to write on the posters UB40 half price, and we kind of adopted that name, because we were unemployed at the time, because UB obviously means unemployment benefit, and it's form 40. And we just thought that had kind of a ring to it. We didn't realise how clever we were being, because obviously there were 3 or 4 million people that all were already members of the same club. That's how we got the name. It was suggested by a friend of ours, and we thought, yeah, that's a good idea.
Couple of words about Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Chrissie Hynde of the Pretenders, who really gave the band a big boost.
Well, who knows what would have happened to us had she not just been playing small gigs. We hadn't been going long, but we were making some noise. We were getting some attention because our sound was kind of new and unique. And we were playing in a place called the Rock Garden in London, which was famous old venue. I don't know whether it's still open or not. It was like a toilet, I mean, it was a real awful venue, but it was one of those venues that everybody played. But anyway, she turned up at the gig and came to see us backstage afterwards. And at the time, she'd got a #1 single with Brass in Pocket, right. And she also had a #1 album. And they were about to embark on really quite an extensive tour of Britain, and she's just come backstage and said, "Do you guys want to come on tour with us?" And for us, obviously, it was a no-brainer. Having a number, she was the most famous artist in England at that moment. And we thought it was a real privilege actually to be asked. Yeah. She asked us, and we did it. And by the end of the tour, which was quite an extensive tour of Britain, by the end of that tour, we released our first single, and it was a hit right at the end of our support slot on that tour. So we immediately booked the same tour and did it with us headlining, so almost immediately afterwards. But that was really, while we were getting that attention on Chris's tour, we you know we like I said, we had a hit record, so who
Mhm.
knows what would have happened had we not had that exposure. Things can always have been different, just would have turned left instead of right, things would have turned out different. I mean, we'd always kept in touch with Chris and we loved her. She was always been a lovely lady. And a few years after that, we suggested we do a number together, which was "I Got You Back," iconic song anyway, with
Yes.
Sonny and Cher, and we brought like a reggae beat to it, and she said yeah, she'd love to, and it was a massive hit around the world. So we love Chrissy, and we always have a lot of time for her. Last time I saw her, she turned up for Brian's funeral, Brian Travers, who died last year. So she always has kept in touch with the band, and we owe her that leg up in the beginning, which a lot of bands don't get, but we got from her.
And speaking of Brian Travers, he is actually featured musically on a brand new single that you have called Champion. Champion is on the upcoming album UB45, which will celebrate your 45th anniversary, of course. But Champion was also the official song for this year's Commonwealth Games in Birmingham.
That's right. Yeah, we actually used an old backing track that we hadn't used from a previous album, which had Brian on it, and they're his lines. He was a very prolific songwriter as well. He's probably our most prolific songwriter, and he was also the most charismatic performer on stage as well, really. So he's a massive hole that he's left that will probably never be filled, because he was so prolific we are the guardians of his legacy, and we just wanted to make sure that he was still featuring on our music if we possibly can.
Champions for the Birmingham Commonwealth Games 2022. How did that come about?
Yeah, well, there was an album project that was connected to the Commonwealth Games. There are all kinds of little side projects that come out of such a large, organisation like the Commonwealth Games. It's like the Olympics. It's a massive organisation, and one of them was to produce an album of local bands. Obviously, because Commonwealth Games were in Birmingham, and we were asked to contribute to that album, and we wrote that original tune for the album. But then when the Commonwealth Games organised heard it, they loved it that much. They said, can they have it as their official anthem for the games? And we've gone, yeah, obviously, no, we weren't going to say no. And we had this piece of music hanging around, and we wrote words specifically to celebrate competition, which is what it's all about.
This is rock, reggae, and relief. This is music, good vibes for a worthwhile cause. I got to tell you, we are going to shut down literally a portion of the city of Pittsburgh. And you are going to be on a stage in the city streets between buildings, and it really is a cool vibe. We are happy to have you coming in for this benefit. What are you doing in the way of your set? What can we expect?
We are going to be obviously playing the big hits, obviously Red, Red Wine and Can't Help Falling in Love, and, Here I Am, Baby, and the ones that were big hits in America. But we're also going to be playing a lot of new material because we're a heritage band, but we don't want to be a cabaret band. We still want to be making new tunes, and we've still got a hunger for making new records, and so we'll be doing both. We're going to be indulging ourselves with some unknown tunes, but then we're going to be hitting people with the hits that we're known for around the world, so it's going to be a combination of both.
Jimmy Brown, drummer, founding member of the iconic band UB40, the headliners for this year's Rock, Reggae, and Relief, which is this Saturday. Final thoughts, Jimmy.
I have got some advice. Be prepared to get involved because we expect people to be singing and dancing. Ladies, don't wear high heels.
Yeah.
Because we expect you to be on your feet all night. So you should be dancing and singing, and we believe in audience participation in the night. So that's what people will enjoy when they come to see us live.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and can't wait to see you, Jimmy.
Yeah, great. I'm looking forward to it. See you very soon.